restrictions on women are mounting, that Taliban's actions will have consequences. Can you tell us what could be some of these consequences for Afghanistan and Taliban?
Well, the chief consequence is that the Taliban will continue to isolate itself in the international community. This is a group that says they want legitimacy. This is a group that says they want financial aid and investment in Afghanistan. They want to rejoin the community of nations. And they made promises. They made promises at Doha, and they made promises after they took over Kabul that they would govern in a responsible way, and that they would respect the progress that women and girls had made in Afghanistan. They specifically said that. And here we see them reneging on those promises. So if the Taliban wants to be considered legitimate, if they want the recognition of the international community, if they want financial aid and investment in their country, then they should meet their promises, meet their obligations, and behave accordingly.
You signaled to Doha agreement. How convinced is the administration about Taliban fighting ISIS and other terror groups?
Well, they are constantly under threat by ISIS in Afghanistan. How and when they're going to execute operations against ISIS, or how they're going after, that's for them to speak to. We know that ISIS remains still a viable threat, a credible threat, not just in Afghanistan, but in other parts of the world too, Iraq and Syria, and the Horn of Africa. And we, the United States, will constantly make sure that we are looking after our own national security interests in going after the ISIS threat. You know, we've got a small presence in Syria doing that. We're still partnering with Iraqi security forces. They're obviously in the lead, but we're in an advise and assist mode. And you just saw last week, in an over-the-horizon counterterrorism operation, we took out a significant ISIS leader in the Horn of Africa. So we're going to stay focused on that threat.
Also, recently we see some tensions between Pakistani government and Afghan Taliban. Pakistan even claims that Pakistani Taliban leadership, or TTP, is based in Afghanistan, and even Islamabad has indicated attacks inside Afghanistan against these Pakistani Talibans. Could the U.S. or would the U.S. government support Pakistan to attack inside Afghanistan?
First of all, there's no doubt that the people of Pakistan remain under threat from terrorism, particularly from the Taliban, Pakistan Taliban, as you describe it. There's no question about that. And sadly, we've seen that borne out in recent days in a bloody, bloody way. And so, of course, the government of Pakistan, Pakistani people have a right to defend themselves against that threat. And we know that that spine between Afghanistan and Pakistan remains a bit of a safe haven here for these kinds of groups. We obviously will continue to stay in touch with Islamabad to see what we could do, what might be possible, but ultimately, I mean, we also want to respect the sovereignty of Pakistan and Pakistan's decision making in terms of going after these terrorists.
Thank you very much, Mr. Curtin.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Yep.